Hi, this is Jack at Jack's Transmissions. Today we're going to talk about the BMW HP45 transmission and the E Hub. So the factory E Hub is aluminum, and this area here breaks. When they break, it can damage other parts in the transmission, make a rebuild a lot more expensive. So what we've been doing is pretty much every rebuild out there, we're going to push to try to sell these E Hubs to you and upgrade these so you don't have to worry about this failure in the future. 750 build on up comes standard with an E Hub. It's a very necessary thing to do. So these E Hubs we developed for the A90 Supra transmission, but they will also work in the BMW. Depending on your spline count and what's going on, we do have kits to adapt this hub to fit, and they work really well. So the unique design of our hub really sets us apart from everybody else out there. Everybody else just copies this design, and it's flawed. It's not a good design. It has narrow bushings, and there's wasted space here in this splined area of the hub. So this space, in order to add frictions and steels, you have to put a steel here that's fairly thick, or it'll distort on you and cause some issues with contact with the friction. So you put a steel in here, you put the friction, and then you add frictions and steels to this assembly. The more frictions and steels you add, the more torque capability this hub can handle. So what we've done is we cleverly engineered our hubs out of steel to have the surface for the friction already on it. And what that does is it allows us to move it down a little bit and have this area where it's not going to be wasted space by a steel. We're gaining area where the friction could go straight on there, and then you add more steel friction on top of that. We also added space, or added material up at the top here as well. So you have a lot more real estate here in between to add more plates. So it's not necessarily about just adding more plates, but we want to also increase the reliability of the transmission. By increasing this area here, what our competitors do with theirs, since they only have a limited amount of space, is they go with thinner frictions and steels throughout the assembly in order to add as many as they can. If you already have the space like we do with our design, you can go with thicker frictions and steels, which add life to the transmission. With thicker frictions and steels, you'll have less possibility of coning, warping, and you have a lot more room for wear as well. So there's a lot of benefits with going with thicker OEM-like materials on the E Hub versus the thin aftermarket stuff. So what's also nice about this is with the added clearance, we can manipulate the clearance of the plates as well when they're loaded. So by adding more clearance, we can have smoother clutch engagement. The main complaints about these transmissions is when they're built, they're very harsh on the shift. They're very jerky. The car is not as much fun to drive on the street anymore. What we wanted to do is keep the street ability, the nice smooth engagement of the assembly in our design. So with the added clearance of the frictions and steels, when these are assembled, you can have a stock-like ride that is not going to make your passenger sick, and is going to be, a pleasant car to drive on the street. It doesn't feel like you're driving a race car all the time. But when you click sport mode, or if you have a tune on the car, where you bump the pressures up, you can get nice firm shifts as well. So, another thoughtfully engineered product by Jack's Transmissions. We're very proud of these. It took us a while to develop these. We made, a lot of improvements over the years, but we're selling these out right now if you want them for your build, or if you want them in any of our builds, we keep them in stock, and we make them, of course, only here at Jack's Transmissions. Another thing I want to note is this bushing inside goes down the entire length of the input shaft. It gives us more wear area to deal with, where you're not going to have unusual wear of these bushings as well, which we have seen on higher mileage cars. So again, just another positive feature of our hubs. Thanks for watching.